Hello everyone and welcome back. Alex here today, and as you can see, I am actually playing Guild Wars 2. I think this would surprise actually some of my audience because I have made several videos really contrasting Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2 and how Guild Wars 2 was just kind of a letdown from a gameplay point of view in comparison to Guild Wars 1. Now that is still true. I still hold to that conclusion that I made all the way back when I made the first Guild Wars Corner, way back when, several years ago. But I think it's worthwhile and I think it's fair to revisit Guild Wars 2, as I do, from time to time and just see and even acknowledge the improvements that ArenaNet has done with Guild Wars 2. And they have made significant improvements with regards to Guild Wars 2 from where it was when it was first released. Guild Wars 2 is not the sequel to Guild Wars 1 from a gameplay point of view. And Guild Wars 1 is a really beloved game by all. But if you take Guild Wars 2 and you take it out of that mold, where you take it out of that expectation of it being a sequel to Guild Wars 1, at least from a gameplay point of view, then you could really start to judge Guild Wars 2 based on its own merits. And I think that's important. That's something that I need to do, and I think that's something that everyone should take a look at Guild Wars 2, especially if you're coming from Guild Wars 1. Now, I'll continue to do videos on Guild Wars 1, but I think it's worthwhile to point out the advancements in Guild Wars 2. The big one was when they had changed the attribute system a bit to give more flexibility to the character build. And what I mean is particularly this. Now, this is a low-level character, but I just want to show what I mean by the build, and that's the specializations. When Guild Wars 2 was first released, they didn't have this system at all. But now with this new system here, you can really customize your character to go into 3 different specializations at once. You can change the attributes of what you want to do, and you can actually have much more flexibility in how you tailor your character to what you want it to be and what you want it to do. Also, you can tailor your gear to be what your character can be focused on. So if you're focused on condition damage or if you're focused on burst damage, you can tune your character to focus on those characteristics that you find the most enjoyable. So if I go back here and actually I'm going to jump into my Necromancer here. Now this is the character I have the farthest. I have not had any character get to level 80 yet. I'm still working on that. This is a game that I come in, I play in the spurts, and then I kind of leave it for a long time. Now, when I was looking at Guild Wars 2 again more recently, I said, well, okay, Guild Wars 2 is not going to replace Guild Wars 1. I still play Guild Wars 1. I still enjoy it a lot. I still make videos about it, and I still do some skill reviews about it. But if I take Guild Wars 2, I was like, well, I'm not competing against Guild Wars 1. What about it versus World of Warcraft? Maybe I want to get into World of Warcraft. Now there, you have a much more of an apple-to-apple comparison of Guild Wars versus World of Warcraft. And now you're dealing with something that is much more similar than they are different, and you can make a much more accurate comparison. So here, I find this to be much more enjoyable to World of Warcraft in many, many ways. So, as I was pointing out earlier, here are the specializations. Now, of course, you gotta get to level 71 to unlock the third one. But now, okay, I have my Necromancer, I can put in Spite, I can put in Blood Magic, and I can tailor my character for specific conditions to give certain enhancements or benefits when I'm in combat. And this is something that, in my view, was either missing before when Guild Wars 2 was first released, or they have reworked the UI, they reworked the system so it's much more intuitive and much more flexibility. Here, when I see specializations, I can kind of now confer that to the attribute point split that we have in Guild Wars 1. And now with the whole weapon swapping and everything, and these kind of traits that you open up, it's a much more fleshed out experience for me than when I had started. And this was the thing that made me open up to Guild Wars 2 more than when I started. When I started, I didn't open up to Guild Wars 2 a whole lot. You know, just the shock of seeing all the skills gone, even with the new things that they were trying with the weapon swapping and combining skills from one character to another. You know, that was okay. That was neat, and that was definitely new from the World of Warcraft space. But losing the ability to make your own skill build, the losing of your secondary profession, those two primarily was the big shock when I went from Guild Wars 1 to Guild Wars 2. Now, however, I can still enjoy Guild Wars 1, and I can still push and hope and believe that we can get some real sequel to Guild Wars 1, at least as far as the gameplay point of view. But now I'm kind of separated enough that I can begin to appreciate Guild Wars 2 on its own merits rather than, as I mentioned before, comparing it to Guild Wars 1. But really, it was this specialization ability that you can customize your character that really opened up Guild Wars 2 for me. Now, of course, it's still the big MMORPG. There are still many characters around, and again, the business model has kind of changed. Now it's a little more microtransaction, but you know, again, those are for more cosmetic things. It wasn't anything that fundamentally changed the gameplay. Guild Wars 2 is a very good game if you're considering an alternative or something alongside of World of Warcraft. I tried World of Warcraft a little bit, and it is a good game, and it's definitely a game I could probably get into more, but I have missed that ship a long time ago. That game really hit the height, and I completely missed it. And I don't regret it at all, because again, I got to enjoy Guild Wars, I got to enjoy EVE Online, and I've got to enjoy Dota 2. So, you know, nothing was really lost, no harm, no foul, and maybe at some point when I have a little more time, I can actually get into it. But anyways, this is Caitlyn. This is actually my replacement for Caitlyn in Guild Wars 1. It was the first character that I made, and I've had a lot of fun with her. So, I don't know how to make new videos for Guild Wars 2. And I make new videos for Guild Wars 2, but I can't really do something like a skill review because all the skills are there, and it's depend on your weapon type and what you can do with it. So it takes all the strategy out of switching skills around, so that's kind of out. But maybe there's some content that I can take a look at as kind of fresh pair of eyes. Now, to people that are veterans of Guild Wars 2, this is way up in front. This is way in the beginning. You guys have seen this probably 100 times, if not more, before. Probably not that interesting to you. But maybe for some of my audience that would at least like to see my perspective from Guild Wars 2 about Guild Wars 2. Maybe if there's interest, I'll jump into it here. But I do enjoy playing this, and it's going to tie into what I want to do with the channel here. Now, I've had a real deep sit-down thinking session today about really where I want to go with the channel, and what I want to do. And I think that's going to be a completely separate video because my life circumstances have changed last month or so, and I need to definitely give this a different look, at least as far as the channel. But I wanted to, you know, put up some new videos, make sure you guys know that I haven't forgotten you, I haven't left. I did put up a video with regards to E3's presentation, at least EA's presentation at E3, with regards to Command & Conquer Rivals and kind of the disappointment that I saw with that. And that seemed to be garnering quite a bit of interest. So maybe I'll just do some more general gaming news. So anyways, this is my second take at Guild Wars 2. Definitely improvements, and definitely able to see it on its own merits. And I think maybe I can even do more videos on its own merits rather than doing the back and forth between Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2, because now Guild Wars 1 is starting to get some more interest. There's actually been some development of Guild Wars 1, which is really exciting to see. It's a great story. It's great to see more people playing it. It's great to see people coming back to it and giving it another shot, or people that have never played it before can say, okay, well, maybe it's not completely dead. It's a bit dated. Yes, it is. But heck, so is World of Warcraft, so is RuneScape, so is a lot of other MMORPGs that are still out there that have been continually developed. So I'm really excited to see what the futures holds for Guild Wars 1 now. I think this has been a pretty big sea change with the development of Guild Wars 1. And I'm also excited to see where Guild Wars 2 goes. Okay. Anyways, guys, I'm going to leave it here. Quick video for today. Just my quick thoughts, just walking around the game here, and what made me kind of open up to Guild Wars 2 a bit more and really give this a go here. And just to let you guys know, it doesn't mean I'm comparing this to Guild Wars 1 anymore, because you can't. There are two separate things. But what I can do is compare this to things such as World of Warcraft. So anyways, I'm going to leave it here. Talk to you later, guys. Stay tuned. Some big news coming up here for the channel. I think when I make this change here, it's going to be cool. Nothing's going to be stripped. Nothing's going to be taken out. Things just are going to be expanded. Okay, take care, guys. I'll talk to you soon.